share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am your host, Melissa Wallace, and I am joined by I know I'm not supposed to say this, but one of my favorite people, and you just so happen to be a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate. I have the one and only Ginny Wandell. Hello, Ginny.
Hi. Nice to be here.
Yeah. Did I make you like a little bashful or something? You seem quiet now.
Best and favoritist? Oh my goodness.
Best and favorite. I know. I'm not supposed to say that. As the manager, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I feel like every day it changes. Like but you're a constant in my life.
How about favorite for right now?
No. I can say, this is my show, and I can say whatever I want to say. And that's what I'm saying.
She's driving the bus.
But yes, I am joined by Ginny Wandell, who is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate. And you have joined myself and Sharon on the show before, correct?
Absolutely.
It's been a while, though.
Yeah.
And sort of, we've taken a new direction on our Tuesday night show. So a lot of the Tuesday night shows, I'm going to be sort of asking some of the agents here at Boston Connect Real Estate to join me and just sort of give their perspective on, what's going on in the market. Because we all get asked the same questions, I'm sure you get asked the same questions that I get asked.
Similar questions,
Sharon,
but different personalities.
Yes.
Right.
So we have a lot of different personalities. And I wrote it down on the board. We have a little board over here in our studio. There's a realtor for everyone. And we'll get to that. But I want to give you the opportunity to reintroduce yourselves to all of our listeners who might not have heard you before.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So, hi.
Hi. Yeah, get nice and close to the microphone.
And I'm Ginny Wandell, and I am a professional realtor. Wow.
Wow.
I've been 13 years a realtor. And prior to that, I was an advertising and marketing executive in Manhattan. But I've...
Big time.
Lots of fun. Big fat name people, but you know what? Everybody's just a person. So,
Ginny,
you can talk to me about celebrities another day. I would like everybody to know that I have a normal and crazy life, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And real estate is just one of the things that we do. It's really important. I say my job is to make sure that nobody's homeless, and when people are, we are compassionate and we work toward correcting that.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of the things that we like to do are have parties and events and do fun things here.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get into that. So, I'm going to give you an opportunity to sort of like highlight you as a person, highlight you as a realtor. And like I said earlier, I really am trying to bring on some of our agents that like either have been on the show before or this is their first time, and just sort of let everybody know that like we're all different, and yet we all have the same mission and the same goal, and that is what you just said. We never want to make anybody homeless. So whether it's home buying or home selling, we're going to make sure we can do everything in our power to get you to that goal.
Right. So all of us at Boston Connect Real Estate want you to have trust in us.
Yeah.
Because your real estate is quite a valuable asset. And the other side of that coin, the emotional side of that coin, is making sure that you're comfortable where you are in your place. And if you have to shift gears, every single one of us here has the ability to give you guidance.
So one of my favorite things about you, and I just told Sharon, so Sharon is here in the office. She's upstairs doing some bookkeeping, but, we were talking about, we do this thing called Time Well Spent. And there's a group of us that meet every Thursday morning, and we sort of just we try to get our lives all organized and together and keep our calendars in place and, have a work-life balance. But last Thursday, I was going through something. You sort of recognized that in me. And also everyone has been so kind and supportive during my own home journey. Yes, I'm technically representing myself, but I have so many realtors on my side and in my corner, and I can bounce ideas off of, and I'm so fortunate to be in the position that I am, not just to be able to purchase a home on my own, but also I just have such great people around me. And I I definitely leaned into you on Thursday. So I don't know, I might have taken away from your time well spent time, but I was making a cup of coffee and you come and you're asking me about my day, and I'm like, I have an offer in. And she's like, oh
time
gosh.
well spent really is making sure that your time is
spent well.
Well spent. Yeah. So in this office, just so you know, we all touch base together at least once a week. That's how we stay connected. Not only do we support each other with, hey, what the heck's going on in your life, but we check in on real estate and what's going on. We have a great network just amongst ourselves.
Yeah. And I was just telling Sharon, I was like, I started off talking to Ginny about my offer and just sort of what's going on in that process, because it was sort of a few days before I heard back. And I won't go into details, but I was so fortunate to sort of bounce some ideas off with you, come up with strategies, because I know that you're in my corner, and I know that you've always been in my corner, and you always will be. Yes. And I was just telling her, I'm like, we didn't do time well spent. We sort of just did our own thing in the kitchen, and we talked about real estate. We talked about personal stuff. We talked about everything.
It was our time.
It was our time. Yeah. We took an hour and just sort of spent time together. But the thing is that with you, it's so easy. I'm just going to highlight you for a second. It's so easy with you. And I know, so we have this thing called working by referrals, and you've always, and I've only been here for 7 years, you've been in the industry for 13, but I've always only known you to work by referral, and that means word of mouth. People are saying, no, Ginny is a great realtor, and I'll tell you why. And they give all these examples because you are such a perfect, wonderful person.
Yeah, I'm only comfortable with people that I know are referred to me. It's harder for me to do the fishing and the farming and the pay for leads and the work with people you don't know.
With you, it's not just real estate. It's you and we'll get into some of the things that you're doing, upcoming things that you're doing at the office and hosting events for your clients and friends and family and stuff like that, because that's you.
Right.
As a client, so somebody who's purchasing or selling a home, somebody who wants that in a realtor, the personable part of it, they're going to go to you.
Yeah.
And I'm very confident about that. I'm putting it out there. If that's what you want, you go to Ginny Wandell. But yeah, so why don't you highlight some of the things that you are doing here at the office and how people can sign up for those things?
I will absolutely do that. But I have to say, Melissa, our time well spent really did have to do a lot with real estate. And what that reminded me of is that, offers are a well thought out, crafted document. That's a tool that different realtors write in their own creative way. So don't be fooled just because somebody can write an offer.
Yeah.
Understand who's writing your offer for you and what their relationship is with the other realtors and with the market and the business around them.
Yeah. So I like to think of it as I'm writing a script, or I'm writing a dance, and is the other realtor are they dancing with me, or are they doing a completely different style?
And please don't step on my feet.
Don't step on my feet. Let's dance together.
There you go. There you go.
But some of the things
But
that you
fun.
have coming up, and also everybody who's listening, we are live on Facebook. So be sure to follow Boston Connect Real Estate. If you want to join in on a discussion, I promise we are going to get to a real estate topic. We're talking about fall. Yeah, we're talking about fall maintenance and home tips and stuff like that, whether you're thinking about putting your house on the market or, just you want to maintain your home. So eventually one day that you do. And also this is, I feel like we can highlight some of the things that like buyers are looking for right now, like weather-wise, time-wise in the universe. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
Yeah. What's the market doing now?
Yeah, with buyers,
Yeah, we can do that.
so what buyers should be looking for in the fall, too. So, the number at the studio is 781-837-4900. If you want to call us, say hi. Hello, we love talking to people.
We did.
But yeah, some of the things that you have going on in the office are what?
Yeah. So, just for fun is sort of the topic that I say. I say to myself, what am I doing just for fun? And the way that people get to know Boston Connect Real Estate is by coming to this office. And the way people get to know me is by participating in my events. So if you would like to, certainly get in touch with, I don't know, call the office or email or whatever.
Yeah, you can go to bostonconnect.com and even find all your information.
You'll find
so
me.
Ginny's information.
So we like to do office events and community events, which we do.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to do monthly events. They are, in general, open to the public. You'll find them. I'll make a public Facebook event. But as the year goes, just quickly, if it's January, I'm going to be hosting a vision board night.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Mother's Day or springtime, we're going to be having a professional bartender or two that I know. And they're going to make mocktails and cocktails and teach you how to make a fun party and how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to have a paint night or a craft, make a seascape glass window. We're going to, because I like to write, I have plenty of people that say, nope, I'm not a writer, not coming to your event. And I'll say, okay, but forget about writing. Do you just want to come hang out? And by the way, I'm going to give you a blank journal. So we're, prompting people how to do things. Tomorrow night, I have, we're just going to learn how to breathe.
Yeah.
Believe
Is
it or
that the
not.
same? So is it similar to what I had done? So I went to this event before.
You learned how to just breathe
Just breathe.
in springtime.
Yeah.
And my dear friend Paula Parker, who is a hatha yoga instructor, comes here to Boston Connect Real Estate to our living room, and we just have 15 or 20 chairs, and nobody needs to bring a yoga mat.
Yeah.
So tomorrow,
Yeah.
public event, yes, you can find Just Breathe, and this one's called Just Breathe Autumn.
Just breathe autumn.
So if you just don't know me personally, but you want to find me, look for that public event
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just Breathe Autumn.
Yeah. And I mean, you do stuff, a ton of stuff, vision boards, the yoga thing, mocktails, cocktails, a paint night. Did you do a paint night?
We made crafty
Yeah.
window seascapes.
Oh,
on
yeah,
glass.
yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go back to the Just Breathe thing tomorrow night, but I am going to the movies. I'm going to,
I know you're
did I tell you what I'm seeing?
What are you saying?
I'm seeing, it's the 50th anniversary release of The Exorcist, and I will be honest, I've never seen The Exorcist, so I'm going with a couple of my friends who are
Fabulous.
sort
We'll
of
talk
forcing me
about
to see it.
afterward. You
Yeah.
can give me your review.
I'll give you my review. Yeah, I think there's like a new movie coming out or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'll be trying to breathe during the movie.
You will. And you learned how to breathe in the spring. So we
Yeah.
do this sort of seasonal thing because as the seasons change, so do we change.
Yeah.
And if you're not really good at adapting, this is going to help you. I love the friends that say, oh my gosh, winter's coming. I can't stand it. I'm like, I know, but we're just in the fall. So let's just be in the fall right now.
Yeah. My mother is texting me saying I'm not going to be able to sleep for a week after seeing this tomorrow. I don't think that it's that scary anymore. It was released 50 years ago.
Okay, I'll teach her how to breathe over the phone.
Yeah.
You do that too.
But, speaking of the fall and moving on and stuff like that,
Yeah.
moving in the fall or fall maintenance tips
can
is
do
what
that.
we're going to be talking about. So,
I like to
anything else
say-
that you want to say about sort of your practice, your business, anything, what makes you different from everybody? Because I think that you are. I think that you're great.
I am. We're all different.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a realtor for everyone. So, personality is a thing. It's a real thing. We can talk about, what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
And how I will advise people. So as much as we're going to have fun tonight and talking about fixing up things, which is definitely a real estate, taking care of your real estate topic, we could talk about maybe at the end how things are going in the real estate market, and what having a real estate advisor is basically somebody who's going to walk you through the steps. You don't make this up, or people do make up how this goes about. But if you talk to a real estate advisor, we're going to give you the real steps, not let you get ahead of yourself. I'm going to hold back the reins. Because the first thing everybody wants to do is tell me how they know all about real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do this every day.
You do this every day, full time. This
time.
is your thing. This is your jam. I like to say that. This is my jam. Okay, I want to get into sort of maybe your home improvements that you've done, because again,
this is where this topic started.
Well, this is where the topic started, but also, like I've said all show, like, you're a very personable person. So what are your sort of, personal home improvements that you've been doing? Because you told me the other day some of the things that you've been doing in your house, because the offer that I did have on, like, there needed to be some repairs and maintenance and stuff that needed to be done right away. And you just sort of snowballed and was like, well, this is what I've done to my house recently. And I'm like, oh, we got to talk about this. Now we got a topic. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you've done recently? And you're, full disclosure, you're not planning on selling your house anytime soon. However, these things, you're laughing. Please don't leave me.
Somebody just asked me today, because I was saying, I call it, I don't like to say maintenance because it just sounds so.
Okay, so what do you want to say?
I just call it fall fix-up.
Fall fix-up. Okay.
You need to fix up your act and in your home.
Well, fix up, I think dating. Like, I'm fixing you up with somebody.
Okay. Okay. If my mind went there, I would be in big trouble, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Okay,
so my fall fix-up is also, my home maintenance, I'm a homeowner. And I live in a house that's, 1730. Like, it's old.
Yeah.
So when I
1730.
And when I hear people say I live in an old house and, it was built in 2015.
What?
They're
People
just
say
coming
that?
from, oh, gosh, well, it's not new. I said, well, new means in the same 12-month period. So, all right, if it's more than 5 years old, I guess. But nevertheless, the best thing to do is not avoid your spring, summer, fall, winter home fixes that can be done. Because when you live in a house, the house also lives and breathes with you.
Yeah.
And so it may get creaky or drafty, and you should probably find out why. So my method is I budget, believe it or not, and I suggest everybody do the budget plan. And actually, I should say, full disclosure, I didn't used to budget, so I got myself in a big mess, and I wasn't able to do home maintenance. So now, over these past several years, I really understand how doing a spring project, or a fall project, or summer, or whatever, is good for you. It's good for your mental health. It makes you feel proud that you did something. And by the way, you fixed up something in your house. That's a good homeowner. So for me, we talked about wooden windowsills and wooden trim.
Yeah.
Because Melissa said in this house she was looking at, it maybe needed some replacement. And I said, funny thing, I just learned that it's a good idea nowadays to replace your wood trim with PVC. And that's exactly what I did.
So it's interesting that you brought this up, and I love this because I had a conversation with both Sharon and Mark McNamara last week about this. So about this home, Mark came to the house with me and just sort of gave me an idea of the things that needed to be done right away. I was comfortable with that, and that's why I proceeded forward with writing an offer. Right. And they both put it in perspective with me. So they bought their house in 1992. It was new construction, but so 1992, that's 31 years ago.
Yep.
But for a while they didn't have to do too much, but maintaining it.
Yeah.
And then they told me last week, they're like, listen, we've been in the same house for 31 years. Every year we try to do something. We either, we do a project, we, try to gain equity at somewhere, or do we just maintaining things? We do one thing every year to our house. And, that is gonna, we're gonna get the value back tenfold,
Yep.
and they were like, you don't have to do everything all at once.
And
They,
people can't.
and
do
I had a whole
everything all at
list.
once.
I had a whole list at this house. I was like, oh, this needs to be done, this. And then Mark was like, yeah, do these two things first, move in, and you just chip away. Just chip away.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Most people don't have a, infinite supply of money. So if you plan on being in your home for a year, you're going to look at the things because you're thinking of selling.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Call me, call your favorite realtor, because we're going to help you prioritize. What you think is really important to fix may not be the number one thing to get done if you're going to be moving in a year. Mm-hmm. If you're going to stay for 5 or 10 years, same thing. When I have a monthly mailing. Again, if you want to be on that mailing list, it's all helpful hints and different topics. You can call me and find out what's my opinion. And a lot of people will say to me, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Yeah.
And my answer is always, I don't want you to move. But I would like you to think of me as a nice person who is professional and knowledgeable and pretty smart.
Yeah.
And personable. So would you like to hear some advice?
Yeah. So you replaced a wood trim with PVC. Right?
So here are some of the things from my perspective at my home. Curb appeal is important to me.
Yeah.
I have an old house that's on what's called a scenic way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to me that I feel good about the curb appeal of my house, which means maybe you need to think about a structural issue such as replacement windows. Maybe you need to think about the trim and is it showing any signs of rot and needs repair. The other thing that happens is your shrubs grow, your trees grow, your grass may grow or not. And so curb appeal sort of hits both. It's the aesthetic value as seen from the street,
Yeah.
as well as how are you maintaining that tree that's growing into my roof, and how do we attack that? I had a professional tree company tell me it'll cost this amount of money to take that tree down. And I just knew my budget, and I said, I can't do that, so what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So I asked one of my handy-dandy fixer-upper guys, who's kind of the jack of all trades, and I asked him what he thought about this tree. And he said, why don't you just let me take my Sawzall and go up, 10, 15 feet and take off these limbs that are sort of encroaching upon your roof just for now.
Yeah.
So I'm also realistic with people and their budgets.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to get so overwhelmed that they say, I can't
Well,
do it, so
that's
I'm
the
not
thing.
doing a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's so easy to spend other people's money.
Yeah, no.
But we don't do that. Yeah.
I would protect your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's easy to say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to right away. And sometimes people are left like, what? Like, no, how would anybody be able to do that?
Right. And what I find is that left to your own devices, people will come up with a really good reason to get stuck.
Yeah.
And so they'll go do something else. Well, let me go sit in my backyard and I'm, going to have barbecue with all my friends and that'll be great. Meanwhile, the front patio is caving in because this is what happened at my house. The chipmunks decided to go in between the bricks and in between the stones and create their own little habitat. So, I like to say, have somebody come in and help you, advise you, and we're going to truly, every one of us, we will help prioritize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what happened, to go back, my girlfriend this afternoon, I was delivering M&Ms to her because that's another story. She needed M&Ms, trust me. So Sue, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. She said, "You're not planning on moving anytime soon, are you?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I said, "No, but this is what I do. A spring project or a fall project."
Oh, is it because you said that you were doing some maintenance?
She said, "Do you know
maintenance?
somebody who can help me? I need my front door replaced." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Yep, my phone is my filing cabinet. These are all my resources. My people are your people."
Yeah.
And she said, well, how do I do that? And how many quotes do I get? And I said, "Oh, Lord." Okay, so I told her my spiel. And it was over M&Ms. And then I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, geez, I better get in the car and come because I have a radio show to do."
Sorry, I'm on the radio tonight. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
No, but like I said, I love
So-
that about you. Like, and I love your little sayings too. Like, my phone is my filing cabinet.
My phone is my filing cabinet.
No, but it is true. I mean, what does a realtor do without their phone? Like, if we can't see somebody in person, we're picking up the phone and we're calling somebody.
Yes.
And we always say communication is just key, and it is, But so, okay, so you did the tree, you trimmed back the tree because that was in your budget. You did the PVC. What other, maintenance things? And also, what brought you to know that you needed to do those things?
So somehow there was this epiphany, and it was called an ice jam. Is that what they're called?
Ice dam?
Ice dam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was real, and that I realized that when you don't clean your gutters, so we had brand new gutters that last spring, or 2 springs ago. What do we do at my house? We got new gutters. Terrific. They're beautiful. They have downspouts. They're terrific. But we didn't have the gutter guard on top. So consequently, stuff piled up inside. And guess what happens in the winter when there's no place for water to go anywhere, and it piles up and then it freezes?
Yeah.
For just a brief moment in time, you could get a pipe freeze with a burst. That's happened at my house too. So live and learn. I said, this ice dam, which got underneath the first layer of roofing and messed up the wood that was over the window, hence the window wood needed to be replaced. One thing after another will snowball, and these experiences teach you. So I learned from some not happy experience, like when it's winter, make sure that your gutters are cleaned out.
Yeah.
Well, guess what I just did?
What?
We got the gutter guards. So I don't have to, supposedly,
Yeah.
have to clean out the gutters. And it will also stop the water from
Yeah.
getting dammed and frozen.
Yeah.
So
I want to take a second to go back to curb appeal. Like, I think curb appeal is so important because me as a buyer, I'm out there looking at properties all the time for myself. It's the first impression. Like, if I pull up to a house and it's just, you can tell that it's not maintained whatsoever. I'm like, okay, this is how the exterior looks. What's the interior gonna look like?
And that will
They're not
cause
taking
people
care
to
of anything
pass right
outside.
by.
Yeah, if they're not taking care of anything outside, are they gonna be taking care of anything inside?
Yep. So it's very common for me when I visit somebody, because they're thinking about maybe listing their house, and I'll give them some pointers. Curb appeal is, it's the first impression. So how do we do, for instance, we're talking about fall and curb appeal. If I'm visiting someone now, I'm going to say, here's a pumpkin. It cost, $5.99, unless you grew your own. But we're going to put this pumpkin because it shows that there's some life in the house.
Yeah.
I'll also say, if you can, you don't have to buy a weed whacker, but you can buy a hand clipper. Just do what you can do to clear away, so that people can see your lifestyle, your
Yeah.
home.
Well, people also want to see like the foundation too. So, they want to make sure that there's no cracks. There's no, the window's not broken in the basement, like there's not water going in,
You're not
like
hiding anything.
you're not hiding anything. So it's pulling back some of that stuff from that, because you also don't want like you don't want anything like right up against the house like that, because it can cause damage too.
Left to people's own imagination, if they can't see, they're going to make up some story.
Yeah.
So if all the bushes are, hiding the basement window, they're going to say what's going on in that basement. But if you do, like home inspectors will suggest, is to clear back and make a space of 18 inches or more from the foundation of your home to where those shrubs start, you're going to say, as people are just even driving by, even if you're not moving from your home, that shows that this is a nice home. I don't know who those homeowners are, but they certainly care, because this looks a little bit tidier. And even if your summer had everything growing all over the place, now that it's fall, take an hour, take 10 minutes and step outside your front door and say, I always wanted to see a lovely pot of mums here, but I can't even go to Stop and Shop to find the mums because I have no place to put them. So do your own good self-care.
Yeah.
Get out the scissors from the kitchen drawer. Get out that scissors and cut back the little wispy things that are growing up, and give yourself a treat. The other thing I've also done, sometimes you just don't have an extra whatever amount of money. Go back and look inside your house. Find the vase that you thought you were going to use again. Go in your backyard. Do you know what? Things are still blooming.
Yeah.
Go, put a vase out on your front porch that has fresh flowers in it. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
And your neighbors are going to notice.
Yeah.
What do you
Neighbors
know?
are going to notice. Yeah. And if your house
Looks
is on the
like
market, people are going to
happiness.
notice that too.
Yeah.
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 I
You'll
mean,
have a reputation of, those people are such great homeowners.
yeah. So speaking of good whatever homeowners, I want to go through, I know you hate the word maintenance, but fall home must-dos. How about that? Must-dos.
Yeah, I think I probably made a list of those must-dos.
Yeah, I think you did. First one, preparing your heating system for the colder months ahead. So yeah, we are going to have some colder months ahead.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest when it comes to a heating system? How does somebody prepare that for winter? Are you stressed out over there?
I just bought a $28,000 new heating system last winter.
Oh.
Because now I've lived in my house for like 20 something years. We inherited an old heating system with our old house. And when we bought the house, we just were in it'll last a little bit longer. It'll last. And guess what? It did.
It did.
But it kept getting older. And funny thing, it was a few years ago on Thanksgiving Eve when my heat decided to stop working. And this is funny in my household because we usually have quite the tribe and a lot of visitors from a different state.
Yeah.
Because they come here to Cranberry Land where they're tourists. So I limped along. I did get somebody to come to my house the morning of Thanksgiving morning. No hot water and no heat, and it was cold. Lesson learned. I knew that I was going to have to prepare, and I do suggest now your monthly checkup, whether you have oil, even if you're heating by pellets. Somebody today said to me, I have to go get my pellets. Okay. Be ready now. October, November, and December, our coldest months are February and March.
Yeah.
So
and all of those people who are going to come to your house are very busy during those times. So it's good. It's good to have a realtor who has a couple of those people in their back pocket.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, those are the busiest months. So don't wait until then.
No, think about it now when tomorrow it's going to be like flip-flop weather. I'm wearing my flip-flops and it's still warm. That's terrific. My mom would say this is Indian summer. Because surprise, all of a sudden it will turn cold.
Yeah.
So while you're thinking that you're comfortable, even if you have, so now guess what? I have a brand new heating system. And guess what? I have a maintenance schedule once a year for a checkup. When I help somebody sell their home, I ask, what can I brag about?
Yeah.
And if they say, oh, well, we have the chimney inspected before we put in our fire in the fireplace. We always have the HVAC person come
Yeah.
to make sure that that's working.
Yeah.
So be a good homeowner. Make yourself a brag sheet, because someday you may sell your home. What we brag about is how good you are
Yeah.
in being conscientious.
Yeah. Was it you that said the other day? Somebody said to me the other day of making a brag sheet about your house and like
me.
your maintain. Yeah. So like how many things you have, like, oh, that was a year ago. That was a year ago.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. I did that. That was 3
My-
years ago. I did that. Like having that brag sheet of being like, all of these things have been taken care of recently.
Imagine that you have one thing to brag about every year.
Yeah. I love that.
Even if you're not going to move whenever.
Yeah.
That should make you feel like, oh, I am doing something.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be overwhelmed and say, well, I need new garage doors, and I need to, replace the back deck boards, and I need to, okay. So you can have 8 things that you need as a running list, and we carry them over from whichever season we're moving into, however your budget allows. But the best thing is to be able to say, oh, my 2023 brag sheet has new windows.
Yeah.
I refinished my floors.
Right now you get to brag about your PVC trim.
I actually said to my kids, I'm like, did you notice that we have beautiful white trim now? And it never has to be painted. All you have to do is power wash it. It's not going to rot.
And what they
Mom,
said.
it's really nice.
Were they so excited for
Like,
it?
oh, good thing you pointed that out. I don't know. The trim used to be gray, and now it's white.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you see that?
Yeah. What color is your house? Is it white? I don't know if I've ever
It's
seen
red.
it. Is it? I don't know if I've ever seen your house. I'm sure I've driven by it a million times.
You live one street away from me.
Yeah, I know. So I've driven past it, but
it's got the Palladian windows in the
yeah.
middle.
And what did you call your street?
It's actually called a scenic way.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
It's a designated street, which means if you have trees and if you have stone walls, and
I love that.
you're theoretically, Big Brother would say you're not supposed to cut down the ancient trees. You're not supposed to.
Well, it's just trimming.
Move. I actually had somebody. I had a mom once upon a time come to my driveway and say, Ginny, can I buy some of the stones from your stone wall?
We have a stone wall here at Boston Connect Real Estate in the center of town.
See? They're very desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the stone wall we have here.
But you're not, I don't know. I'm
going to drive by your house.
There's an antiquity thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your house is definitely an antique. Yeah. Mary and Sam's house, I think it's 1800s. Yeah, 1800s. Yours is 1700s. Whew. I wonder how many times they've had to replace the heating system in that house.
Well, first of all, there was no heating system way back when.
Yeah, obviously.
And I remind myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, they only used to. So we have 4 fireplaces.
Wow.
And I just think, how on earth? I mean, they're not all lined. So nowadays you're supposed to line them. We
Yeah.
only have one that's lined. Heating with fireplace is one method. And then the other method is my good old brand new gas heating system.
Yeah.
So I have 2 methods of heating in my house.
Yeah.
And not to be forgetting, but your windows allow for solar heat even if you don't have the solar panels. So you can, be like my mom, the good Yankee that she was, and let in the heat on one side and, close the curtains on the other side. And
Yeah.
what's that called? Passive
Passive
solar.
something.
But it's not like the solar panels.
Yeah.
Passive solar. That's like good old fashioned.
Solar from the world.
Like hang your sheets out on
Outside.
the laundry line
Yeah.
to dry.
Yeah.
Laundry line, what's that?
Laundry line. We only have about 6 minutes left. I know it flies by really fast, but I do want to make
we
a
maintaining
point.
anything?
Well, I want to make a point.
What are we
So We have down here on our list, test and replace batteries and smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. So we
National Fire
always,
Protection
yeah,
Association. Yes.
we always tell people daylight
October.
saving time. Daylight savings time is a really great time. You can celebrate it by changing the batteries in your smoke detector and
whether
your
you
carbon
think it
monoxide
needs it or
detector.
not, whether they're chirping at you or not.
Yeah.
There's so my husband
Yeah.
once upon a time worked for the organization that writes those electrical codes and standards around
Yeah.
the world, and the stories that are so sad can sometimes be avoided, sometimes not. And so even if you don't think your batteries need to be replaced,
They
replace
do.
them. October is fire safety awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should probably have somebody from the fire department. Well, so the chief of the fire department is going to be a judge at our dog trot this year.
Oh, happy Halloween.
Yeah. So if you participated last year or you saw it on Facebook or social media or whatever, we do a dog trot, a Halloween dog trot. And this year it's on October 28th from 12 to 2. We're going to start promoting that probably tomorrow.
So
At some
that's a
point this week.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. Again, it's our dog trot from 12 to 2, October 28th.
So two of us. So I'm a person who
You're on the board.
I lost our puppy, our dog Jessie of 13 years, and Michelle's dog passed away too. So I'm here to tell you, even though it's hard, you can still come and participate. You can be happy for the people who do have their dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a fun fall event.
Mary's-
We do the cats, but you know what? They don't like to be.
Yeah.
Easy. They don't like to be on the leashes.
Yeah.
No.
Mary and Sam are away at a wedding, but I might bring Dexter. I'm
Okay,
gonna
you
ask
can.
them. I'm gonna ask them. I think Norman is a little too young.
Adopted. He's adorable.
He's the sweet. He's a good boy.
But
He's
you know
so
what?
sweet.
Not everybody has a dog, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So really, it's.
I don't have a dog. I'm gonna borrow one though.
celebrate the season.
And I'm on the board for it. So I don't even have a dog. I'm also trying to get a dog park here in Pembroke, but I don't know how I ended up on that board either. I don't have a dog.
Other people volunteer.
Yeah, other people volunteer me. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I only have a couple of minutes left. I want to give you an opportunity to give your contact information out to everybody before we do our final thoughts.
So find me. If you're in the world of Facebook, it's Ginny Wandell is my personal page, and Ginny Wandell Realtor, Boston Connect Real Estate is my professional page.
Yeah.
Also, there's Instagram. Also, there's a phone. And
And give your number twice.
I'm really good at talking and texting. That's
You are.
probably my best is talking and texting. So 781-354-0723. And if you didn't catch it, it's still 781-354-0723. And you know what? My name is Ginny, not to be confused with Jenny.
Jenny.
I do have two Jennies, two nieces. One is Genevieve and one is Jennifer. But I'm Ginny. If you need a memory crutch, it's like gin and tonics. Because my name is really Virginia.
It is.
So however
And
you
I love to
remember
call
me,
you Virginia.
You do.
Virginia.
You do. It's a beautiful name. My mom gave it. Actually, my brother and my sister voted for Virginia. My other sister voted for Leslie.
Oh,
That was my middle name.
it was or it still is?
I mean, it is that, but they were two against one.
Yeah.
So it was Virginia, and it still is Virginia.
Yeah.
So Ginny, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, and if my mom, our number one listener from Brockton, is still listening. I don't remember what my name was going to be, so text me before if you're listening in 2 minutes.
You were going to be Alice.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad won that battle. He wanted Melissa.
There you go.
So what are some of our final thoughts here? I know we have like a minute and a half left, but
don't
we
get
didn't get to so many things.
No, don't get stuck. Wherever you live, whether you own it or rent it or you have a room somewhere, be proud of where you are by doing something good for yourself. If you are thinking of buying and selling, absolutely. You call me, call Boston Connect Real Estate, call Melissa, call somebody, because we're your advisors, and it's our joy to help you look forward to where you're going to go to next.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this show is also about, if you're going to stay right where you are, make it the best place and Absolutely.
Make it yours.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to make it yours?
Yeah. Yeah. And
For a long time.
you don't have to break the bank. There
No.
are ways. Did I say that my PVC and my trim was only enough money to do my front of my house curb appeal and my backyard?
Yeah.
So guess what? Next year,
You're going to
we
do the rest.
sides.
Yeah. Well, I was going to be named Amber or Fallon, so we'll end on that note.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I still love Melissa.
I know. I
best.
love Melissa too. Sorry, Mom, but Dad won. You can listen to any of our past shows, talkrealestateroundtable.com. You can go to bostonconnect.com to find all of our contact information, especially Ginny Wandell, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect. And yeah, you can follow us on social media. We're always live every Tuesday night and Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ginny, for joining me.
All right. I'll miss you for our next event, but hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah. We will see you. Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
WATD FM.